And I mean, you mentioned this. It does seem like this is a pretty highly regulated industry. At the start, you wanted to be a tech platform, and you ended up having to be a dispensary. And I know one big difference when it comes to the courier side of things is that I believe they have to lead. They're legally required to be employees, right? Is that true?
That's the biggest difference. Once you get past the fact that you're not delivering a burrito and you're delivering cannabis through your
Yeah,
passenger window at 9 p.m. at night potentially
yeah,
in downtown LA, which is not necessarily for everyone. Once you get past that and you start to feel comfortable with what we've set up to keep everyone safe, you move on to what is this opportunity for drivers. And in my opinion, it's the best driver gig you could possibly have.
mm,
So starting with the fact that it is a full-time W-2 position. We
mm,
have part-time drivers, but it's a W-2 position. We're paying $15 an hour in SoCal and a little bit more in NorCal, but then there's a heavily tipped product, right? So
hmm,
you're getting pretty decent tips. We also pay the drivers 57 cents per mile they drive.
hmm,
And that is the maximum that the IRS allows for
yeah.
a deductible expense.
And they're using their
Or
own vehicles.
they're using their own vehicles for the most part, and they're getting that 57 cents back. The average driver does drive between 100 and 150 miles per 8-hour shift.
Hmm.
So the reimbursements do add up quite a bit.
Yeah,
It's full benefits, medical, dental, vision, and we just keep making it more exciting and more lucrative for these drivers. Obviously, a lot of competition out there, but from what we've learned and heard from drivers, it is significantly more profitable and enjoyable than
yeah.
the rideshare gigs.
Well, why do you think that is? That it's more profitable?
Well, first of all, you're getting paid when you're idle,
Hmm.
right? Which is the first thing that's not happening.
Yeah,
The tipping is significant. I think
yeah,
that what we all remember about Uber and Lyft was there was no tips in the beginning,
yeah.
and they've conditioned a lot of customers to not tip,
Definitely.
whereas that's certainly not the case here. Um, and it's the benefits, right? I mean,
Hmm.
what California has done for employees, it's obviously an employee-driven state where the state really takes care of employees.
Yeah,
This is the hardest place to operate as a company, and the best place to work as an employee. So
yeah,
just in the requirements of that the state lays out there for employees in California, from paid time off to health insurance,
hmm,
things that just don't exist in the gig economy.
yeah,
So certainly the foundation of the comp should be significantly greater than the typical gig worker. I mean,
yeah.
that it's hard. There's going to be the exceptional situations, maybe in an Uber Black or something
Hmm.
where it might be better. I'm not sure. Um, but the the next best thing that I think is
Yeah,
fascinating about this category is you're delivering happiness.
yeah,
When you pull up to a customer's door and they had placed a cannabis delivery 30 minutes earlier,
yeah.
and 30 minutes later, magically a driver appears with 3 different eighths of your favorite cannabis and a vape pen and an edible. It is, a
It's
fun
like Christmas,
transaction.
huh?
It's fun to order. It's fun to receive, and they're very thankful.
Mm,
I think some of that comes through in the tipping, but I'd say 999 out of 1,000 customers are just so happy
yeah.
that a service like this exists. It's 2021. You place an order online, and 30 minutes later, premium cannabis is
Yeah.
delivered to you. To
Yeah, it's definitely, I think sometime, I mean, I think in general, right, like maybe not exclusive to the gig economy for any job, people are typically doing it for the money, right? They call it a job for a reason. You got to make money. But then it is nice, with some of these other services, right? Like one of the nice things about Uber and Lyft, you get to talk to people, right? One of the things about food delivery, you don't have to talk to people. So depending on your personality, right? And then, with marijuana delivery, obviously, like you said, you're sort of delivering happiness. So I do imagine customers are pretty happy. I'm sure that leads to potentially higher tips. And it sounds like as far as the earnings potential, if they're at $15 an hour, for example, which doesn't sound super high, as a base rate, but obviously they have full benefits. And then they also get tips, if they're doing $10 to $15 or 10 to 15 orders per day. I'm guessing it's at least a $5 tip on each order. So that's another $50 to $75. Then also the 57 cents per mile, 100 to 150 miles, that's another $57 to $75. So it adds up, $200 to $300 a day. It sounds like. Who do you think is kind of like, I don't know, does that math actually check out? Does that sound
Yeah,
about
no,
right? Or do you
it
have any
averages to about
data you want
50.
to share?
Yeah, so it averages to $1,400 to $1,700 a week.
Okay.
before the performance incentive bonus. So we
Okay.
also have
So you also have some
essentially
bonuses.
about a $5,000 bonus annually for the highest performing 30% of our fleet.
Mm.
And so we do have stats, everything is data driven. And
Yeah.
so the highest performing drivers not only get the bonus, but they get rewarded with more deliveries. So
Mm.
a very efficient driver will get more orders dispatched to them, allowing them
Mm.
to make more mileage reimbursements and more tips. So it starts to kind of snowball.
Yeah.
Um, yeah.
So
One kind of
what are those metrics that determine a, you know, top driver for you guys?
Yeah, I think the most interesting one that I think all of the gig economy drivers can imagine is at the end of the day, you're getting a route in real
Yeah.
time from where you are to the customer's address.
Mm-hmm.
And we know what the Google traffic and
Right.
ETA is. And so we compare the driver's actual times to what Google said it should be with traffic and
Mm-hmm.
everything factored in. And then we kind of set the end time when you hit a 200-meter geofence. You
Mm-hmm.
don't have to wait for if the customer takes a while to come
Yeah.
downstairs, you don't get penalized. You get 200 meters from the address, and it tracks your efficiency score. So efficiency
Mm.
score is certainly the one that allows you to get more orders than the less efficient drivers.
So
But of
would
course,
that be like the faster you drive, the better, or the faster you get
so
there, or
the
can you go
numbers are
too
actually quite
fast?
interesting. The average is 30% slower than Google.
Hmm.
A very fast driver is 5% slower than Google.
Mm-hmm.
You're preparing sometimes, for the delivery, you're preparing the order, perhaps. But that's the average. So the last thing we're trying to encourage, we are tracking everybody's speed as well. So
Right.
the last thing we are encouraging is people to drive fast, but being efficient, how long
Yeah.
it takes to accept the order on your app.
Mm-hmm.
The efficient drivers only take a few seconds. Some
Yeah.
drivers are probably watching YouTube videos or playing phone games, and they'll take 3 or 5 minutes to accept an order. And
Yeah.
again, just reduces your efficiency score. We get the customer feedback score. That's a big factor.
Mm.
And then also order accuracy, making sure that, you're collecting
Yeah.
the right amount of money, the orders packed accurately, or other, big factors in that scoring system.
Yeah. Well, because I think that is one of the interesting things about, you know, working as an employee. I mean, just more generally, right, versus independent contractor and running your own business, or sort of running your own business as an Uber or Lyft driver, right? You're kind of, as an independent contractor, you're kind of incentivized to be as efficient as possible, to, you know, kind of, I would say you're directly incentivized. Literally, like, the better driver you are, the more money you make in the moment, in the day, right? If you see a trip come in and you're like, not that great of a trip, not that profitable, I might not get a ride back if I drive an hour out east, right? Like, the cutthroat drivers will almost kind of reject those, right? And then they understand, like, hey, that helps my earnings. Maybe not the best for the customer or the company, but I have to look out for myself. Employees a little bit different though, right? Because you still want to incentivize efficiency. I think that's a good way to put it. You want to incentivize efficiency, but at the same time, I'm curious, you know, what are some of the differences you've seen there between, you know, the types of drivers that you're hiring, or, you know, maybe even who's like the best fit, you know, to kind of work one of these gigs for you?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I know I'm speaking to an audience of more gig economy workers. This is, a more traditional W-2 job.
Yeah.
It isn't just work when you want. There are schedules, but we're growing so fast that you can typically get the schedule you want.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, there's that is kind of the first, I guess, branch in who
And they
you
would
come to.
schedule like 4-hour, 8-hour shifts, or how does it work?
Yeah, it's typically 8-hour shifts. We do have about 30% of our fleet that works 5 to 6 hours in the evening.
Mm-hmm.
We also have a team of drivers that do 4 10s. So
Mm.
they're getting 4 10-hour shifts.
What are the
Typically,
busiest times of demand?
yeah, the busiest time is getting off work, that 4
Okay.
to 8 p.m. range, particularly Friday
It's
nights.
not to start the day.
That's not to start the day, although we do have quite a few scheduled orders in the mornings.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's quite a big rush on Fridays. I would say to any drivers considering this gig, this job, we probably need you on Friday evenings.
Yeah.
But
Friday
beyond that,
evenings.
there's a lot of flexibility with the schedules.
So it sounds like weekdays, kind of more in the afternoons after work. And then I assume
Yeah, about
Friday
30,
evenings.
35% of our drivers do the morning shift. They
Mhm.
typically work from 8:30 a.m. to 4 or 6 in the afternoon, depending on
Okay.
which team they're on. And then a much larger shift comes on between 2 and 4 p.m. and then they work until
Got
12
it.
p.m.
And do you see similar sort of high demand or peak times, like Friday night, Saturday night, maybe holidays, big events, stuff
Yeah,
like
I mean
that too?
the sequence is Friday night, Saturday, Sunday,
Yeah.
Thursday,
Okay.
Wednesday, Tuesday,
So
Monday.
like kind of what you might imagine when
What
people
you
are
would
out
expect.
having
Yeah.
fun, looking to have a good time, not rocket science, right?
And typically our customers are they're using it as medicine. And so
Hmm.
they are, most of our customers are consuming cannabis all day long
Hmm.
to help them sleep, to relieve anxiety, to get them through their days. That is my experience with the cannabis industry.
Hmm.
People are not doing this actually recreationally. This is
Oh, really?
instead of other antidepressants, anti-anxiety, or medicine they take to focus or sleep. I mean, this is a miracle product,
Hmm.
from my perspective, and everyone in our company. And the more we survey our customers and the more we learn about
Hmm.
this magical plant, it's pretty amazing.